The Samsung Galaxy A26 is a confusing phone. On one hand, it's one of the most affordable 5G phones, and on the other hand, it's lacking some of the features that most of the phones around its price come with. Now, I'm not going to say it's a bad phone. They are obvious upgrade, especially coming from last year's Galaxy A25. But if you check around what is happening in the market, then you begin to wonder, who was this phone made for? In this video, we are answering that big question and why you should even buy this phone to begin with. When you get the box, it looks typical of all Samsung phones over the last few years. It's minimal and you only get a USB-C to C cable, a user guide, and of course the phone itself. There aren't any accessories attached or you find in the box, and you have to spend more to get a certified power delivery charger and a protective case. The case is even more important because if you decide to use this phone without a case, then get ready for micro scratches and dents on the phone. You can check the link for the protective cases that I've ordered from Amazon, and I also intend to make a video talking about the best cases for the Samsung Galaxy A26, A36 and A56. I paid around $220 for this phone, which is around 350,000 naira in Nigeria. Now for that price, I got the model with 6 gigs RAM and 128 gigs storage space. You can actually decide to spend more or even spend less to get the model with 4 gigs RAM or maybe 8 gigs RAM. You can also go for the one that has up to 256 gigs of storage space. Now, the storage type is LPDDR4X and the RAM type is UFS 2.2, which is fine because most of the phones around its price have this type of RAM and storage space. It's just that for the same price, there are some phones out there that give you up to 8 gigs RAM and 256 gigs storage space. You can actually decide to use a memory card on the Galaxy A26 and forget about using 2 SIMs. You also get 5G connectivity, which is something most of the competing phones around this price can't boast of. Which phone do you think I should compare with the Galaxy A26? I'm already working on comparing it with the Samsung Galaxy A16 that I have here, and I also have the Galaxy A36. But let me know in case you want me to compare it with maybe any Techno, Infinix or any brand. Let us know in the comment section. The rear design is at least one area where you'll find some changes. We have moved from the plastic backside to a glass back panel, and it is protected by the Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, making it a bit more durable. It looks the same with the more expensive Galaxy A36 and A56, but it looks completely different from the Galaxy A06 and A16. Working on a video to compare all the Samsung Galaxy A series of 2025, so subscribe if you don't want to miss out on that video. The phone has an IP67 water and dust resistance rating, and it can survive 1 meter deep for a minute. It feels comfortable in the hand, and the camera arrangement is also changed. We have all the lenses tucked close to each other, and I feel it looks better than what we had on the Galaxy A25. We have a single down-firing speaker here, but I wish it was a stereo speaker because that's what the competition is giving you for similar price. Now the unlock key also doubles as a side-mounted fingerprint scanner, and it's really fast when it works. It can be more of a hit and miss because there are times where you put your fingerprints and it's not going to work. You just have to find the right placement. The build quality is great, and the glass build gives it a premium vibe. It is also comfortable in the hand with the rounded edges and flat back. Flip the phone to the front, and that's where you see one of the reasons why it's a confusing phone. But before we talk about the confusing part, the display size has increased from 6.5 inches to 6.7 inches. It's Super AMOLED with 120 Hz refresh rate. Scrolling feels smooth, and watching movies is also enjoyable. It is responsive to touch, it is flat, and it's functional. But you see the water drop notch and the bezels, especially the chin at the bottom. It's weird at this price point. Everyone has moved away from this. This is a good display in terms of functionality, but if you see it from afar, maybe without touching it, you won't really know that this is on a phone that should cost this much. The display is also protected by the Gorilla Glass Victus, and outdoors it gets bright up to 1000 nits peak brightness, and it's decent. The only problem is just the bezels and the water drop notch. Please Samsung, it's time to move on from this display style. Now the Samsung Galaxy A26 is powered by the Exynos 1360. While it's not a new chip, I feel it's matching up to the competition because most of the phones around this price point are powered by the Helio G100. Apps open up quite fast and is suitable for casual day-to-day usage. The target audience for this phone will find it very good, but if you're a demanding user, maybe go for something higher. At the same time, the chipset supports 5G, which makes it kind of just way above what everyone else is giving you at this price. I feel the model with 8GB RAM can also make a slight difference in terms of performance. The phone is much more suitable for casual gaming as the chip has a history of not being properly optimized for gaming. The thermals here also aren't the best, and after like extensive usage, you are going to notice the phone starts overheating. Anyways, for the price, performance is good. It's not designed for like extreme activities. The phone is running on Android 14 and One UI 7 is the user interface. It also comes with awesome intelligence, a trimmed down version of the Galaxy AI. You get circle to search, object eraser and filters. These are useful AI features, and the object eraser lets you mark an object in a photo and remove it. For filters, you can use it to remove color from a picture and apply it on another color. The software is clean and is one of the major selling points of the Samsung Galaxy A26. There is a toned down version of Now Brief on the phone, and you can do a lot of customizations on this phone. Samsung is also promising 6 major Android updates on the phone, which is next to none in the industry. The closest competing device is getting maybe just 3 years of software updates. Now, software has always been a strong point for Samsung, and a lot of people kind of navigate to buying Samsung phones because of how the software experience has always been good. And now that they're also adding AI to the mix, I think it's only going to get better. Now we have a 5000 mAh battery on the phone, and it can last you an entire day on a single charge. If you're a demanding user, you might have to charge this phone in between using it during the day. It charges at 25 watts, which is slow given today's standard, because I think even the closest competing phones can give you up to 45 watts. You also need to get a charger that is PD, that has power delivery, to charge this phone at the max 25 watt that it comes with. If you don't have a charger with that certification, then you just struggle charging this phone. The main camera is 50 megapixel, and we have an 8 megapixel ultra wide lens and a 2 megapixel macro lens at the back. The image quality is impressive using the main 50 megapixel lens. HDR and color seem to also be handled well. That's if you snap in well-lit situation. The ultra wide images are not as good as the pictures you get with the 50 megapixel. The macro lens shouldn't even be here in the first place because the image quality is low and it struggles with focus when you want to snap macro pictures and you go close up to objects. In low light, the images are good, but you can see some level of noise in the pictures. In terms of selfie, I'll say it's one of the best around this price category, and this phone can also shoot 4K with the main camera. And for the price, I don't really think there's any phone out there that can come close in terms of shooting 4K and the whole video resolution thing. The phone has great camera and can shoot 4K. It has a premium build quality, but the display design feels outdated. However, in terms of display functionality, I feel it's very good. It's a functional display, and the phone ticks most boxes for the price category. I also feel that for anyone who wants to use a Samsung phone but don't really want to spend much, this phone is perfect for you. What else would you like to know about the Samsung Galaxy A26? Feel free to ask in the comment section, and I will be happy to see you in my next video.